service.
Sorry.
It's okay, not a problem. Clubs that excel in community service tend to have membership growth. They communicate and they have good organization and operation. And if you do all of those, then you can possibly qualify for this prestigious excellence award. So the Club Excellence Award is more than just an award. It's a proof that your club is strong, it's active, it's doing all the things that clubs need to do to remain current, to have meaningful service, to do membership retention and recruitment, um, building. So to get this award, you must increase your membership for the given year that you're applying for it. And that can be by sponsoring a Leo club or sponsoring a new club or by a net growth in membership. So if you started the year with 19 members and you end the year with 20 members, then that would check off the box for increased membership. Even if you didn't increase the member, but you helped sponsor a new club, you've still helped to increase membership. Therefore, we've brought more members into the organization, and then we can continue to serve more people, right? So again, it's all about the three-legged stool that Lion Chris always talked about. To have strong clubs, we need to have strong leaders, we need to have good members, and we need to have successful service projects. Okay, so the next thing is to make an annual contribution to LCIF. And it doesn't matter if it's $5 or $5,000. Any contribution to LCIF, and even if a member makes a personal donation, that counts as well. But, you know, our Lions Club International Foundation is a very important part of our international organization. Our district has benefited from grants from LCIF. Last year, we got $10,000 to help with our grab and go snacks and coffee that we provided to the long-term care facilities. We had grants to help rebuild different camps and do additions to the camp. When I was governor, we got a matching grant to help with the docks at Camp Huronda. We've got emergency grants for the tornado that went through Angus. So those are the types of things that the funds from LCIF can help with. And now, go ahead.
If I could say, it's Barb. When I was governor, they also helped increase the monies raised by A12 Lions to build or to buy the Honda Pilot for the CNIB. So it's been similar with you. It's great.
Yeah. So thanks, Barb. So we've received probably more money than we've ever given to Lions Clubs International Foundation, and now members can make a donation in Canada, receive a tax credit through the Canadian Lions Fund for LCIF. And I just happened to be trying to walk my way to Montreal before the international convention. So if you'd like to sponsor me, I do have a financial page set up for my walk, and the funds are going to LCIF. So that could check off one of your boxes. Okay, so they would like us to start a new service project each year. And then we would like, then the next requirement is to complete an additional 3 projects, which most of our clubs do. We, or right? And then very important that our club fees are paid on time, that we aren't in arrears. Have encourage your officers to take the different trainings that are available. Not if it's, there's the trainings that we offer. There's the Lions University courses. There's the Lions Learning Center courses that will help your officers develop and become stronger officers. And that also helps with the management of your club, right? So, and then finally, promote your Lions Club activities through social media, through local newspapers, and, make sure that people know what your Lions Club does, right? We used to be the best kept secret, but we shouldn't be the best kept secret. We should be the forefront of community service organizations where people say the Lions Club is the #1 service organization in the world, and all of us believe that. And then the application, each year there's a little tweaks to it, but come July 1st, you'll be able to look at next year's, and you can do a search for the 2021, 2022 Club Excellence Award application, and it details what the criteria are for the upcoming year. And this one has to be completed by the end of August and sent to our district governor for him to sign. And then he will submit that to Lions Clubs International. And if you're approved, you end up with a nice banner patch and a pin for the president, I believe, still. Okay. So,
Len,
Yes.
can you just clarify? So 2020, 2021, when would we put the application in?
the end of August. We have until the end of August because,
Oh, perfect.
okay, because we have to look at what your start of the year numbers were, and then on July 31st, right, you'll have your year-end numbers. So they'll want to see that positive growth in that timeline.
Mhm.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? So it is a good guide to help you plan and, to be successful. And it's just something that, we have the opportunity to promote what we do. And, it's always nice to be rewarded for the hard work that our clubs do. So, you can share that information with your club. And then, hey, we look at us. We worked hard last year and we received this Club Excellence Award. So it's a good way to motivate our members, and just something else that you can put in your toolbox for your year as club president.
Len,
Yes.
I believe Barb has something to ask.
Okay, Barb.
Yeah, just to clarify, who is able to fill out that application? Is it is it anybody on the board? Is it any club member? Does it have to be just the president? Who can fill out that app?
I'm pretty sure realistically it should be the district governor that needs to fill it out, but sometimes we need to get them because the club president doesn't have to sign it anymore. So anyone from the club can fill it out. The membership chair, the secretary, the treasurer, the president. Someone in the club leadership probably should do it, but that doesn't mean that it has to be them. If you know that it's been completed, then fill it out, send it off to District Governor Peter, and remind him to send it off to Lions International.
Yeah, Port Carling was fortunate to apply for and receive one a couple of years ago, but we haven't done that for a bit. So I just wanted to clarify.
So it's pretty easy if you know that you didn't apply, you didn't send any money this year to LCIF, then that club won't be able to participate in it. But it motivates everybody to get those checkbox ticked off, and it's a good way to show that we're active. And okay. All right, so now we're going to get into sorry, wrong way to go. Share screen first, and then you'd think after all the times I've been on now, I'd be up to date with.
Doing a great job, Len.
So building a vision for your club. So this is going to get into kind of looking at a SWOT analysis. We're going to look at our strengths, our weaknesses, our areas for improvement, and and the threats that may be there for our club. So that's part of it, but it also looks at doing a bit of planning, long range planning, looking for the future. And realistically, as club presidents, we need to work with our past presidents and our upcoming leadership to develop a plan so that we have vision moving forward. Okay, so at the end of this session, we're going to discover your club strengths. We're going to find ways to grow, and we're going to make a greater impact in your community. And that's really, if you think about it, that really gets back to what kind of close to our international mission statement is. So our international vision is to be the global leader in community humanitarian service. And again, our mission to empower volunteers to serve their community, meet humanitarian needs, encourage peace, and promote international standing throughout Lions clubs. And I may suggest that, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, you read these to your club members just to get them rethinking about what Lions is about and refocus on the bigger picture. So 5 years from now, if a former member called to inquire about your club, what would you like to tell them about the changes for the better that you've made? Maybe we just open up a little discussion for that. Barb, what would you like to talk to your people about? A person that left and 5 years from now is asking what's changed in your club.
Well, Port Carling has gone through a lot of membership changes. We've lost a few people to various reasons, all of the reasons that people leave. But on the flip side, we've been able to lower our average mean age by quite a bit. We have some great new younger members, which have brought some really exciting new ideas about service projects and making the community in Port Carling stronger and healthier. So I don't know if you want specifics or whatever, but we do have some new projects. We want to revitalize our Lions Park. We want to improve our walking trails, things like that. We have a garden that we are proud of down by Hannah Park. And a lot of that has come from our bottle works where, it's been able to fuel financially all of these opportunities. So I think that's, pretty exciting stuff.
Okay. Jim, what about you in Elmville? What would you tell a member 5 years out about some of the changes that your club's made 5 years from now?
Well, we're not an old boys club anymore. We actually have a couple of women in our club again. We have starting to change our focus. We have been known for years as we're strictly a fundraising club, basically with our truck draw. But we're slowly starting to turn some of the members. And by the way, it's a really tough slug to get them from, oh, well, we just do the truck draw over into community service. We are working on it. Lion Jen's been the spearhead behind that, which is slowly, it's like turning a barge in the river. It's taken a lot of nudging to get them turned around, but it is coming.
Okay, good. And Michael, what about you in Tottenham? What would be,
Like the image of the barge. I've often say that it's not going to be one thing. You can't turn a big Titanic. It's going to be a dozen little things. I agree with a couple. We brought our. It's not the old boys club, which was perfect in Tottenham. Now, actually, literally, there's if we've got maybe 13 members, we're a small club. We have more women than men at this point. I think it's like 7 to 6 men over women. So we really made a leaps that way, which I'm very positive on. We've got some younger folks. I won't say young, like not 20s and 30s, but at one point, I was the youngest guy in the club at 58. I was the youngest. So now we've got a few in their kind of late 30s, early 40s. So we brought that average down to, I think if we've done anything in the last little while, it's to embrace the social media a bit better, get on the Facebook and understand how to, it's, I mean, word of mouth and set by example, that's all important. But I think the way we embrace social media a bit more the last year, Zoom as an example, Facebook, whatever. I think those are positive steps forward.
and maybe Jocelyn, maybe you could talk a little bit about your club. You guys are a completely different style than what most of us are used to, with a lot of online presence and, members
Yeah.
living everywhere. So maybe.
Yeah. So when we started our club, one thing we say, which my dad doesn't really like actually, but one thing we say is we're not your grandfather's club anymore. But all that means is that we're just doing things a little differently. They're new, they're fun, they're exciting. We don't spend any time driving to and from meetings or having any like boring meetings. When we do meet, it's usually at the start of the year to plan out our year. And then we just meet up at our functions. The rest of the time we have a private Facebook group and we do most of our planning and we have most of our conversations there. And it's worked out really well for us because we have a lot of parents, young parents, moms, single moms, and they're able to just be at home while the kids are in the house. So no babysitter. And then another thing is that when we do meet in person, we're family friendly. So the kids can come with you. We provide food and snacks. The one time we had karaoke going on in the corner for the kids while we just had our meeting. It's fun. We make it fun and we make it for everyone. But we do most of the stuff online.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And she can actually say it's not her grandpa's club because her grandpa was a past district governor too. So Jocelyn's a third generation Lion. So thank you for all the work that you guys have been doing. Okay. And we'll go back to the presentation. Okay. So as Lions, we naturally have a vision. This provides a tested process to share our vision collectively, discover new opportunities, and develop common goals. Your journey starts here. And I like to use that when I'm talking about people joining Lions. I like to invite them to start their service journey because realistically, our members join to serve their community, not probably go to long, boring meetings. So sometimes, yes, meetings are important and it depends on the structure of your club, but you know what? All in all, we see more members when we're doing service projects or we're doing something that's fun rather than at our business meetings. So develop your club's vision. It starts with you and your club. So let's look at the booklet that we gave you. So let's look at page 2. build your team of club leaders. Okay, so you want to identify and get a development strategy for future leaders and how to use the resources that are your previous leaders. Okay. So we're going to, oh, sorry, I hit that by mistake. So we're going to grow our membership within our club, considering these objectives in the 4 main areas. We're going to revitalize our club with new service opportunities. Why would that be important? And just feel free to answer.
Well, especially during this pandemic, that's a great example because we haven't been able to do what we normally do, like the bluegrass, the car show, the Canada. We can't do what we normally do. So what we've done this as a new service project is the electronic waste and scrap metal. And that was very successful for us. We're actually doing it next Saturday, by the way,
Yeah.
second time.
So it allows us to look at new opportunities, new ways to serve our community. Right. I know that Michael, your zone, you guys did a lot of work together to look after Beaton Manor when
Yeah,
it was at its
several times.
worst. So,
And Roy McKinnon, the owner of the McDonald's store, didn't charge us a dime, not one dime.
right.
So what we did as a club is made a donation to Ronald McDonald House on his behalf.
Okay, that's good. And from what we've been noticed, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, new service opportunities also bring in new members because somebody might be on the fringe of the club thinking about it, and then we go in a certain direction and they go, I could really get my head wrapped around that. I really want to help with that. So it just provides more opportunity for new members.
Okay. Thank you. And what I was going to say is that we've noticed that clubs that continue to do hands-on service, whether it's small or large, continue to grow because people in the community see the Lions doing things that makes the community better. And the clubs that are traditionally check writing clubs have really been hurt by the pandemic because they've really focused over the years on massive fundraising projects and those haven't happened. And they're unable to serve the community with the financial support that they used to. So they've had to reinvent themselves with doing community park cleanups, community gardens, food drives. When I first started with the Barrie South Lions, we used to give the Barrie Food Bank $100 2 or 3 times a year. Now we do a food drive, which gets about 2,000 pounds of food and probably $2,000 in cash on an ongoing basis, which is way better than we could have ever done with a financial donation. So that allows us to keep our community engaged. It allows us to speak to the community. And when we're doing events like that, we use as an opportunity to do membership growth and act as a new member attracting, because you get to talk to people and we can explain to them what we do as Lions. Okay. So the next one is to
Can I say one
revitalize.
thing about that?
Yes.
Just to add real quick, if you do a new service, it reaches a new group of people. So you may have already reached everyone who's interested in road cleanups, for example, and anyone from that interest group who wanted to become a Lions member may have joined you. But if you do something new, like say you do a 5K, then you reach a different group of people and different interests, and then they may also want to join your club.
Great points. It gets back to growing our club with diversity, right? So diversity just doesn't mean race and religion, but it, you know, it gets to people's thoughts. You know, you could attract people with more brown eyes and then start trying to focus on people with blue eyes. But again, the more types of things that you do, the more people you can attract. Okay, so that's service opportunities. Okay, rejuvenate your club with new members. So when you were doing that, we want to have new members because new members bring new ideas, right? We want to excel in our leadership. So we want to make sure that our leaders are strong so that when we get the new members, we can put them to work and we can find out from the new members what they want to do and what type of projects they want to work on. And then we want to share our activities with the community and all that. It ends up growing our club and making us stronger. Okay. Okay, so we want to be clear with our expectations with our members. So let's hear, what are some of your expectations for being a Lion? And please, let's get something from everyone on this one. And Ruth, if you can watch, because I'm sharing the screen, I can't see if
I will.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So you can use chat or you can unmute yourself,
Okay.
either or.
Jocelyn, go ahead.
One thing, I don't know if it's an expectation, but one thing I tell my members is that we don't ask for all your spare time, just the time you can spare.
Perfect. That's a great point. Very good. Thank you. Peter, what do you think?
I think it's Peter. I think one of the things we expect, I hope, is a certain level of behavior, if you will. Somebody who sort of acts like a lion in the meetings and out of the meetings, who carries the banner well, who volunteers, pitches in, and becomes part of the a proud part of the community, rather than somebody who does it for the wrong reason, participates for the wrong reason.
Okay, no, that's a good point, right? So, you know, whenever you're wearing your Lions pin or your golf shirt or a hat or something, that you act like a community leader, right? So, good point. Anyone else have anything to add to that?
Yeah. Martin.
Okay, Martin. Yes, thank you.
Well, I think a big thing is too that the club members respect each other of what they can do, and that no one person knows everything. So that you use more of the membership, and that will get around. So new members will think of that because, oh, hey, I can do this. Maybe I can help out and not be told everything step by step.
It's good. So that would be to be inclusive of your members so that everyone feels part of the group.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
I have a similar point. Is what I try to get across this year aloud is that we all bring different things to the table, and it's our collective that makes us strong.
That's right. Like singularly, we can be very weak, but when we all join together, we can be very strong and powerful, right?
Lionism sort of gives everyone the opportunity to give back to the community. And so it's imperative that the clubs provide that opportunity and have lots and lots of service projects. You know, we have learning opportunities and fellowship, and they're all side benefits of being a Lion. But really the main reason is to give back to the community. And that's why having multiple service is so key in clubs.
Yes, it allows different members with different interests to feel part of the organization, right? So that they can grow and feel that what they contribute is meaningful. So thank you. Okay,
Can I
what
comment
about,
real quickly
okay,
to
sorry.
that Dave just said about service? So the other day, Dave and I were coming up from Barrie, and we drove through town to Gravenhurst, and you got your flags up, and that flag project is just great. And you drive, along the main street of Gravenhurst, and all these Canadian flags are flying, and it's like, wow. Not everybody would know maybe that the Lions do that, but it is spread around. People talk about it, and it's a very welcoming site. So it's a great service project. So I want to say thank you to the Gravenhurst Lions Club for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next one is, what do club members expect from their club officers?
It's Peter. Right at the
That
talking
one
too
should be
much.
fairly easy.
Sorry, I think community and sorely sometimes.
You broke off there, Peter. So sorry.
So I've got a terrible internet here.
Maybe perhaps just stop using the video, and that may help with some of the bandwidth.
All right, we'll try that. Is that better?
A little bit.
Communication is the thing I was going to raise here. I think members expect lots of communication from the officers.
Absolutely, and that's a great point. Okay, so anybody else?
I would expect from an officer as a
Yeah, Len,
brand
it
new-
has to be guidance. Yeah. Oh.
Go ahead, Michael.
Guidance and leadership are probably two of the other ones.
Good. Yeah, that's good, Jim. Thank you.
part of what I was going to say. I understand the servant leadership attitude. I would expect as a new member that my club officers basically know their stuff, they're professional, and they're going to be there and support me in whatever way I need.
So that they lead by example. They just don't talk the talk. They actually walk the talk.
100% servant leadership, lead by example. Correct.
Okay, good. And Beth, as a fairly new club, what do you think your members? And again, this is a totally different atmosphere for you guys as well. So what do you think your members expect of your club officers?
Yeah, I think inclusiveness and fairness, sort of to because we're such a new I don't have a very good stable internet, but I don't know how it's working, but we're learning. We haven't been to a lot of club meetings prior to starting our club, so yeah, I think we all are just trying to work together with ideas and expectations, I think.
But I think your club does give good, clear direction on what you want to do. And then because you're not able to meet in person and you haven't had that opportunity, it's obvious that you've got some great leadership because you're doing some wonderful things, like I see your
the
posts.
service part of it is fun and yeah, getting very involved. We've kind of hit a bit of a roadblock as far as budgeting for next year. Different people have different ideas about where the money should be spent and whether we should decide that ahead of time or wait until situations come up. So anyways, maybe I don't know if we'll be getting into that today or not, but yeah,
Well,
that's
that may be part of what we look at, but that's like a threat, or whether it's that'll all be part of what you could take back from this and use going forward as well.
oh
And
yeah,
then-
this has been fabulous learning.
And then
even so far.
also club officers, what do they expect of their members, right? So,
Mhm.
and I guess we've kind of covered that, but I think as a club officer, I kind of expect if a member says they're going to do something, that they do it, right? So,
Jocelyn mentioned that one of her club officers is her father, so she expects him to know what she doesn't.
That's a good point, right? So that's the joys of having multiple generations in a club, and you know, sometimes the dads think they know it all, and the kids or the wives may have a better option at doing it. And sometimes we have to take a step back. Okay, so build your vision. We need to build a team, we need to build a vision, we need to build a plan, and we need to build success. So, and that's where we get into page 4 and page 4 talks about building a vision, assess your needs, and set some goals. And then we can go through the workbook and look at pages 5. If we do page 5, maybe Ruth, I'm gonna end up stop sharing right now. If we want to go into a couple breakout groups, and then we can look at leveraging our strengths, and then we can have some meaningful discussion in a bit smaller group.
Okay. You want me to open the rooms now?
Please. And probably 7 minutes, maybe.
Okay, they're moving into their rooms. Jim hasn't accepted yet. He's supposed to be in room 1. Here.
Ruth, I missed what it said in the little, you sent me on the little note. Oh, you're muted, Ruth.
It said 2 minutes left, and then I just sent one right now again saying, please wrap it up and return.
Okay.
Do you want me to close the rooms and force them back?
Sure.
It'll close in 1 minute.
And here they come. And we didn't lose anybody, so everyone's got back from Cybernet whale.
Yep, they're all there.
Okay, so that was just kind of to work through part of the process for dealing with our strengths. So on your own, you can then look at your weaknesses. So again, you'd go through what your club's weaknesses are and ways to list those out. And then we can take a look at the opportunities that we have. So we can just have a little bit of group discussion, because realistically, we don't need to share all our weaknesses because, you know, each of us have different ones and we really want to stay on a positive straight. So through the process, when we take this information back, you can work on those club weaknesses yourself. And
So Len,
yes,
would you suggest that this is, would this be a good board of directors exercise?
sure. Yeah, it would be a good board of directors exercise, but it could be something that you do on your own. And then you could bring, this is what I feel, and maybe give this information to your other members so that they can do it and then collect it and have some good, meaningful discussion at a board meeting. Right. So you want to give this out in advance, maybe. Right.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just, what are some opportunities that each of our clubs have that we can take advantage of? And I'll start. What about, okay, so if we think about all the documentation that LCI provides for club growth, club leadership development, and actually using that information to help our club grow or to use the resources that we have that are available to us, would that be an advantage that we could take?
I say 100% yes. The resources that I saw online just recently is phenomenal.
Yeah, they've done a
Phenomenal.
lot of work with membership, and we're going to see a lot more of this with it used to be NAMI, which was the North America membership initiative, and now it's the global membership initiative, right? So one of the things that I saw on the weekend was that Lions in Canada has seen a decline in membership every year since 1985. So we have to really start looking at ways to grow so that we can continue to do the service that's required in our organization. And right. Oh, what's this? Okay, the Jocelyn has here in the chat, maybe taking advantages of grants that we didn't know about and apply for them and use them. Yes, that's a great idea. So,
Let's get that back down. I think nudge, another thing we could do, Len, is try and, I don't want to say more like nudge our membership into getting over and checking out My Lion, because there is just a load of information on there. It will help anybody find information they need to make themselves better, make the club better if they want to go look.
so maybe we need to do some reorientation of our club members so that they can learn about some of the opportunities that are out there and some of the programs that Lions are offering that they may not have known about or that have changed, just like the reason some of you have showed up today to take president's training because you're going to be a president again, but it's been 10 years or more since you were a president and you want to be current with what's going on. So thanks, Jim. Somebody
That could be
else?
something that could be something the zone person brings up to these presidents, that when they come to the meeting, that's one thing they might follow up on. I think that's a great idea that we reintroduce the My Lion.
Yeah. And again, Jocelyn's talking about speaking to new people and take advantages of their new perspectives, right? So that gets into, right, our diversity and being inclusive. And President Choi this year, he's talked about kindness matters through diversity, right? And our service through diversity. So really when we try to listen to what our new members are asking and we take on different projects and we have that opportunity to do different things that we may not have done in the past, it allows us opportunity for growth. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and share my screen again. Okay. So our team of club leaders, okay, we're going to identify who can carry out, and we're going to poll our members to gain their perspective. We're going to look for a cross section of members who represent our club. So we're going to use all our members to help us grow, and not just from the top down, but from the grassroots out. Right. So we're going to try and discover our objectives. Right. So I think, right. So I guess before we get to this, so I guess, yes, I guess this is right, that we're going to rejuvenate our club with new members. We're going to try and find ways to find new service opportunities. We're going to try to develop good leaders and good future leaders so that we're not in the position where we have a president for 4 or 5 years. And, it's good to have a constant change of leadership so that we get different ideas. We're going to make sure that our clubs achieve our share our achievements with the community. And when we do all that, then hopefully our membership grows, not just for members, but so that we can continue to do the same thing. And when we continue that circle, we continue to grow new service, we continue to bring in new members, we excel, and we shouldn't be afraid to help other clubs grow either, or to start new clubs, right? Because sometimes clubs can get too big. And I know that sounds odd, but when clubs are around 30 to 40 members, that's probably, at least then you get to know the members. When you get into these clubs that are 100 and 200 members, you know, you probably get a lot more clicks, but you know, you're almost in clubs within clubs. And I don't know if we don't have any clubs like that anymore. When I first joined the Lions Club of Barrie, we were about 90 members, and you know, you wouldn't know everybody in the club. It was hard because people would do their own little things, and that's good, but it really makes it harder to feel that connectivity with each other. So I think we've covered our focus area 1 with talking about new members and how that helps. We've talked about new service opportunities. We have talked about leadership development and our club operations, right? Again, it talks about attending the zone meetings and the district meetings and getting a feel for what's happening not only within our club, but in our district and in Lions International as a whole. It talks about having well-planned meetings. You know, we want to increase the leadership in our clubs by having members take on new leadership roles, whether it's committee chairs. You know, there's nothing worse than having a new member join and then they sit back and they're not asked to take anything on or to fulfill their requirements. And, you know, it's about motivating those new members to become active. And then, you know, we've talked a little bit about our code of ethics, and we've talked a little bit about, you know, how we've changed over the last year through our discussions with COVID. And sometimes, you know, every 5 years, we may need to reinvent ourselves so that we are staying current, because it's okay to do service projects, but if we're not doing meaningful and current service that is reflective and needed in our community, because we've always done that service project, well, perhaps then it's not, because we've always done it doesn't mean that we should still do it. There may be something that's more needed. And then we've talked a lot about clubs that are active on social, excuse me, clubs that are active on social media. They get a good following. Their websites are up to date. Their members are informed. And, you know, one thing we haven't done much about is marketing and our communication. So that may be an opportunity for us to take on and grow by using some kind of club marketing and communication chairperson. And we have talked about informing our community about the work that we continue to do. So don't be the best kept secret. Be the forefront of our community. Identify what we need to do and pick service projects that are relevant and meaningful for today. Okay. So again, the build a vision, the asset. Okay, so what, okay, let's go back and we'll just do some discussion. What would one of your goals as a club president be for the upcoming year? And let's go with Michael.
I would have to say one of the things I would do if I was president next year is keep us together as a group first and foremost, and not lose any members. The retention, it is important to reach out and grab new members, yes. But I'm finding in Tottenham, well, in any town, in any place, we're having a lot of challenges with people moving, with health, with different aspects. If I can keep the group healthy, communicating with each other, helping each other, that would be one of my main goals. Because without that stability basis, it's hard to do anything else.
Right. So yeah, when we retain our members, it's easier for us to grow because we don't have to replace those members.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Okay. Jim, what about you? You're going to be club president in Elmvale. What are one of your goals?
Well, I think I got one of my goals is try and get some of our members re-involved. We've had a pile of members that have stepped back and are basically not involved in anything anymore. And I think that's going to be one of the things I'm going to try and get them, reach out to them and get them back, because we do have new projects on the books. We've got stuff planned for the park. We've got a food drive coming up. But basically with 33 members, we're basically down to about 10 or 11 that actually get involved anymore. And I'm hopefully can get our membership back involved in the next year. I hope.
Okay. So how do you think that you can get the members back involved? What would be one of the steps to do that?
Well, for us, our truck draw is almost too successful. So we need to be looking for some community projects around Elmvale and area that we can get the membership involved in. Cleaning up the park. We've got a amphitheater that's sadly in need of a rebuild, and it's ours. We built it, but the township won't let us do it. We've got some park benches we want to put in, and we're being stymied by the township. So we got to look around. I guess under my term, we're going to look around someplace else. Where can we put our resources to good use? Somewhere in the community.
Now, what about partnering with one of the conservation authorities or something like that to do, creek cleanup or do something that way that isn't the municipality that's going to hold you up? It would be a partnership with maybe Nottawasaga Conservation Authority or Lake Simcoe Conservation or something that way for an environmental project. Would that be something?
That's a good idea. We were actually going to team up with Vespra to do some work on the Lookout Point down there. And then of course that got stymied with COVID. That's a great idea, Len. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Peter, what do you think would be something that would be a goal for your club to do in the next year?
I a little bit along the things. I think kind of re-engaging a lot of people. Do a lot of things very well, but at the end of the day, I think we do them because we've always done them, not because they fit into a plan or they fit into a vision. So I think I really like vision building concept. I like sharing the idea of a vision, a mission, and then working. At the core of all of this really is communication, and communicating to everybody have a goal and they're wanted. And we have stuff to get done. And I think, we do a great job with things like bottle works and cleanup and banners over the, we're the go-to people in town, and Port Carling's not a very big town. People come to us when they need stuff done, but it's the same people ask us to do the same stuff almost on the same rhythm. And I think if we re-engage and communicate a little bit better, we'll find that there's a bigger mission and a bigger calling for us.
Now there is I'm not sure, but there is the community needs assessment guide, and that's located on part of the global service team toolbox on the Lions Club International website. And that's great because you can ask the community what it actually needs. So you can talk to some
Yeah, I
of
like
the
that.
community leaders, what they would like or what the community needs. And it can be like you could talk to the fire department, you could talk to the mayor or the council person, church groups,
Yeah,
health
a
organizations.
few years ago, we did a community needs assessment. This was before Peter. So it's probably, it's probably been 10 years. So it's probably time to do another one. And that can help focus our direction on things that we could do moving forward.
And again, part of this vision and plan is to ask your members what they're passionate about and then engage them to come up with an action plan that they would like to do to meet their service needs, right?
That's good. Yeah,
Okay.
that's excellent.
We did do a Survey Monkey, and actually we had a really good response back from our club members. But now what has been proposed is to lay out a plan for the next year with buckets on what we're going to spend in each area. Does anybody else's club do that? I've got some people that are very much against it, and other people that think that that should be part of our vision. And I'm not really sure where to go with it.
That's a good point for some discussion. So why don't we open that up to some of the other people and
I know with my home club, they tend to work from a budget, and they use that budget to plan for each year, not only how to raise the money to fill the budget, but also where to spend it. And they try to be fair as much as they can to, the charities that we usually give to each year.
Great.
Yeah, we-
Actually, if I could get a copy of that, Ruth, that might give us a good starting point to sort of fashion around. That would be great.
Dave, I
we
think you had
work on
something.
we work on a budget based on the previous 5 years actual expenditure. So we know pretty closely what we're going to need each year. There are certain items on the budget that the treasurer just pays when it comes in, dues and certain contributions to the local organizations, but others have to be discussed by the board of directors and or the club. But we'd be lost without a budget, even though we sold some property 5 or 6 years ago and have more money in our admin or activities account than we really deserve. But it did allow us last year to give $10,000 to the food bank, where we don't raise that much money in a year with hamburgers and hot dogs and tag days. So I would think most clubs should have a budget.
Jim, go ahead.
Our club does basically the same thing, Dave and Beth. You pretty well set your sights. We know roughly how much money we've got coming in a year, ballpark, and we set out for our club it's a budget, and I believe it's gone back 3 or 4 years. Jen, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. I think our past president Jerry Ribideau, he set out a budget plan and went back something the same as Dave, about 4 years. We have things that we automatically pay are in the budget, with all the camps, the figure skating club, the hockey arenas, and then we have a little bit set aside to help someplace else if it pops up, because there's always we find always somebody in the community needs a hand, and that's basically. But if you really do need a budget set up, it's the smoothest way to make things work.
Yeah, in our club, we do the same thing. We have annual projects that we contribute to, like children's aid gift baskets in Christmas time. We do our yearly bursaries to the schools. Those are built into our budget, and once the budget's approved, then when those bills come in, the treasurer just pays them. So we don't have to talk about that at a club discussion. But if there's a new event comes in, then maybe we have to do a specific fundraiser to fund that event. So our trip to Guatemala, we try to do some fundraising that's unique just for our house building when we go down to Guatemala. So that money gets targeted for that project, where like our meat sales and that goes into our general funds, and we've done really well with those this year because people don't want to have to go out and buy any meat. We've just been delivering it to people, and we that's a different thing that we've done, but we've grown that. And again, that's something that your club's going to, as you get on, you're going to have those things that you continually contribute to and that are dear to your club. And then yes, you may set some things aside so that you know that you're going to have those expenses, and then new ideas may come up through the year that you may have to do a fundraiser for to come up with additional revenue to meet those needs. Okay, does that help?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you all for your input. I think that's the direction we have to go then, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to go back to the presentation. Okay, so we're going to go back when we get back to our club or on our own time. We're going to go through and do a detailed SWOT analysis, right? So we're going to look at our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats. We're going to identify those, and we're going to work through and come up with a successful plan to move forward. Right? So when we do that, we're going to build our vision. We're going to list our strengths. We're going to list our weaknesses, the opportunities that we have, and the threats. Like one of our threats could be the age of our members. We're continuing to, our membership age is continually growing. So an opportunity would be probably to take one of those threats and make it an opportunity. So we're going to go out and try to attract some younger members. And even if our average age is, say, 70, if we start attracting some people that are 65, that's going to lower our age. And don't try to go out and try to attract a whole bunch of 20-year-olds if your average club age is 80. So try to take it away a little bit at a time. And I'll use the analogy of how do we eat an elephant? We eat an elephant one bite at a time. So just work your way down. And, there could be an opportunity for you to form a club branch, which could bring some younger members in. They could take on their own service, and you can have a club branch with 5 people, and they can look at some opportunities for younger people to join that branch, and then they either continue on with the branch and form a new club, or as they grow and become more successful, maybe the branch then becomes the primary club and the older members become the branch of the club, just as things naturally progress. And anytime that we can minimize the impact of the threats that are against us, we want to do that. So when we look at our strengths, what are we doing that's well? Makes sense. our weaknesses, where could we improve? And this is kind of how we are been doing our zone meetings in the last little while too, right? We share our strengths. We work with each other to eliminate our weaknesses and turn those weaknesses into opportunities. And then we want to make those opportunities a reality. And then our threats, what's happening outside of us, like one of our threats was, like we talked about earlier today, the fact that we can't fundraise the same as we did before. But then Elmvale, you've sold more tickets faster during COVID than you did in previous years because the club has been able to share that. And I know that Gravenhurst, you guys have used your lack of fundraising by promoting stuff on your web page as a way to do some e-commerce. So we've looked at opportunities, different opportunities to grow from the threats that we've had.
Jocelyn was just saying that every obstacle is an opportunity to take ourselves to another level.
Very good point, right? Like if we can't get, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up, right? So if we always get back up and we always come back a little bit stronger, then we're doing a good job. So I think we've done a good job of trying to establish that. Now we work on establishing our goals. And remember that we wanted to have SMART goals. And this is very important because we want to be specific. We want to be measurable. We want to be actionable, realistic, and time bound. And when I was the multiple district chair for membership, we had districts saying, we're going to add 100 new Lions members to our district this year. That's not going to be realistic, right? With no real plan to do that. But a goal for our club could be, we're going to increase our membership by 10% by year end 2022 by putting together a recruitment plan, which will include different things and then push those out. And it's going to be measurable. We're going to have a 10% increase. It's actionable. Here's the game plan for us to do that. 10% is probably realistic, right? So if you're 30 members, that's 3 new members. And it's time bound. It's going to be done by a certain date. Individually, we can set up specific goals for ourselves. Like I'm going to ask 5 people to join Lions by September 30th. That's a pretty simple goal. Did you ask 5 people? Did you do it in the time that you said you were going to do it? Who did you ask? Or make a list of the people that you're going to ask? And it's a reasonable thing to do. So this is a goal statement form. So it's there in your package so that you can take this and work on it when you are done. So building a plan to achieve your goals, right? We're going to develop an action plan by outlining the steps that you will require to achieve your goal. So let's just go back now and let's do a really simple goal that could help all of us. So we want to lower our drop rate. So we want to keep more members than we have in the last 3 years. So how could we do that? Let's put together some kind of idea and we'll just kind of brainstorm here. So let's say our average drop per club was 4 members. So we dropped 4 members last year. So we want to drop less than 4 members this year. How could we do that?
We
Well,
need to,
in our club, would have to pass a bylaw that nobody can die. Without, and it was Chris that used to say, if somebody does that, they have to replace themselves before they do. So, and he did because he brought Jess in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, like if you're dropping members because, you know, they're not happy with what your club's doing, it's hard to stop people from the natural progression of life and death, right?
You're right.
But,
Yeah.
but
How
if we
about
can,
finding something for each member to do and look after? Give everybody a job.
good, that's a good part of the plan. So find ways to, so I guess that would be assign tasks to individual members of the club.
Sure.
and Jim has his hand up.
Okay, Jim?
Yeah, Len, and something you could do too is if you're losing members, not through natural attrition there, Dave. If anybody contact your members that have dropped, what caused them to drop? What was the reasons why they didn't stay? Were they not engaged properly? Were they that? It's basically you're going to have to do a self-evaluation of your club, find out why they were leaving.
Okay.
I think using a club assessment tool is also good so that you can actually find out how happy they are right now.
So like how are my ratings? That's a good,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's a
Yes.
good one, right?
I was going to say exactly what Jim said there. If you know you're losing 4 or 5, that's the ability to try to find out why and then plug those holes.
Right,
Maybe
so
before, oh,
go
sorry, I
ahead.
was going to say
Go ahead,
maybe
Beth.
before they've left, if they're not attending meetings, have somebody follow up with them and find out before they leave what the situation is and if it's something that you can bring them back before they actually quit.
So show an interest that, hey, we noticed that you've missed a couple
Mm.
meetings. Is there something wrong? Did somebody do something to offend you? You know, show that we actually care about our membership, right? So somebody told me one time if we should take the Walt Disney approach to members as their customers. If we make our members happy and we have happy customers, then we're going to keep our members. So if we kind of, Walt Disney did that, and Walt Disney organization continues to do that. They find out what the customers want, they give it to them, and they continue to survey their customers and make sure that every customer leaves with a good feeling so that they'll come back. So if we continue to make our members feel important, that we kind of make sure that they feel engaged and that they're listened to, then we're going to keep those members, right?
Some of the better presidents too also make sure that at every meeting they do some sort of recognition of at least one member, even if it's something small, just something so that they can make people feel good during the meeting.
Martin?
If you have a membership chairman and give him ideas that that needs to be addressed to all the members, like if they don't show up at meetings, etc., that's when that person then goes to that member and asks why, and or if there's a member that doesn't do any work for, well, not a whole year, but a specific time, they should also see where do they want to fit in, and et cetera. So it's an ongoing thing by a chairman that would do that and keep things, each person feels then more important and part of that club.
Yeah, so the membership chair could kind of assign that work to a committee too, right?
No question.
So that maybe there's a committee of 4 or 5 and they split the club into quarters or something, and each member has an equal amount of people to contact. So more people are doing more things, so more people are active and more people are engaged and they feel that they belong and that
Right.
their participation is important. Thank you, Martin. Very good. Okay. Make sure you're approachable for those on the conversation so that they feel comfortable coming to you. Okay. So I'm going to go back and we're going to finish through this, the presentation slides. Grab the wrong one, sorry. Okay, so we're going to take each step. We're going to go, what is our goal statement? And we're going to create an action plan. Okay, so we've talked about that. Okay, so when we're going to build on success, so it's a circle that continues to operate and we build and build and build on it. So we accept change, we share our ideas, we support each other, we recognize the hard work that each person's doing, we reevaluate what we've been doing. Then if there's needs to change, we do it again, and we continue to work our plan, and we continue to look for ways to make things better. And we listen to our members, come up with new ideas, and accept that some things may not work, but never say, we tried that 25 years ago, it didn't work, so we're not going to try it again. Well, times have changed. Things that may not have worked in the past may be super right now. Okay. And again, we've talked about sharing. We've talked about the support that we can give to each other. We recognize the milestones, right? Celebrate the work that our club members do. Evaluate what we've done, what we can make better. Change the plan if need be, and continue the process. And celebrate, right? We reached our goal. Congratulations, way to go. Let's set a new goal. Let's work to that, right? And sometimes, a thank you to an individual member after something that they've done. Maybe it's they organized an event, and the club president gives them a phone call and said, Bill, thank you very much for the job that you did. It was really great to have some new leadership. And I just want to say thank you. It's great to see you taking on responsibility, and you made this a very successful event with your ideas. So, that makes that member feel important. It makes them feel that they're appreciated. And sometimes that means more than a token certificate that says, good job. And then remember that we can use our donations that we give, and we talked about this earlier in the day, use your donations to give awards to deserving people, you know, longtime members that have done lots for the club. It's probably good to honor them with a Melvin Jones Fellow through the multiple donations that your club's given over the years. Okay. There's lots of different awards to be given, and well, celebrate the successes and the hard work of our individual Lions, and honor them with an award. And you know what? It may revitalize them to take on more responsibility and to come up with more fresh ideas to move forward.
Len,
great-
just one,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
quick question. If we were to buy an award or the $100 or whatever, does that come out of admin?
It can come out of your activity award because
Oh, it can,
activity
eh?
account,
Okay.
because you're giving that back to an association. So you've raised money and you're giving that money to the organization that's going to help somebody, but
Okay.
they're enabling you to recognize one of your club members for that
Perfect.
donation,
Okay. All
right?
right, great. Thank you.
So you're giving CNIB a financial contribution of $100 to Lake Joseph. Then because you've given Lake Joseph that $100, you can apply for the Guardian, or what's the award, Barb, at Lake Joe?
The night of Lake Joe.
The Night of Lake Joe. I should have known that, of course, but sorry, I've got a lot going through my mind in the last 72 hours with different trainings. And sometimes it's good to call on our friends for a little help. So yes, I hope that answers that question, Beth.
Perfect. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I'm trying to lower my hand here.
Okay. So we'll just finish with this. The greater danger of most of us lies not in setting or aiming too high, but falling too short, but in setting our aim too low and not achieving the mark, right? We can always shoot for the moon, and if we come a little lower, that's okay. But if we shoot for the second story window, you know, maybe we should have went for the third or fourth. So our session objectives were discover our club strengths. Did we do that? I think so. Did we look at ways that we can grow not just our numbers, but our club to make it stronger, to take on more service, you know, to make a bigger impact in our community? I think we have, and I think we've had some very good conversation. So thank you. Now we have some time for just some open discussion, right? And if there isn't anything, then I'm sure there's always something that somebody has a question for. Did you find what we did today useful?
I most assuredly did.
Good.
Very good presentation. Good job. Great job.
Dave, did you find that helpful for moving forward in the
For
40
sure.
years later?
Yeah. Things have changed.
Yeah, I want to thank you. I don't know. I'm sure I took the training last year, but I was overwhelmed with a lot of different things. I think to have the refresher and go through it again, I think going to be a lot more, use the tools even more again this year. So thank you very much. Yeah.
And realistically, your district leadership is there to help you. So call on them when required, right? If they don't know the answer, they'll find somebody that does. And I hope that if they don't know the answer, that they're big enough to admit that they don't, because you know what? None of us know everything. That's why I call on different people, and I asked Barb for some help there earlier because I couldn't think of the award, because you know and I know that she's done a few things with CNIB for some reason. I just don't understand why. You know. For those that don't know, Barb Barb was an employee there for most of her working career.
I did not know that, Harvey.
Yeah, I worked for CNIB for 32 years as a O&M instructor. And now I have my own business because the school board asked me to come back after I tried to retire. Still involved with the camp, which is really good. And actually, I sit on the northern board for CNIB, so I guess I'm still involved. Can't get away from them.
So just
I found
remember,
being a
and
consultant pays better too, Barb.
so when people say I'm too busy, just remind them that that's okay. We like busy people because busy people get things done, right? And remember that it's always better to ask our members to help us be successful than to demand them to be successful. So, right, lead by example and be willing to accept the service that they are willing to provide. Okay, if there's nothing else, then thank you. Thank you for committing to learning and for becoming hopefully a better club president moving forward. Barb, go ahead. You had
Yeah,
your
just a
hand up.
quick thing to Martin, actually. Martin, I sent you an email. I just want you to, did you get it? Okay. I was just trying to help Martin with something, so he's gonna give me his information.
Okay.
Thanks,
Ruth?
everybody.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank Pastor Sir Governor Landay for all of his hard work in putting this together. I know he was expecting some extra help, which didn't come around. So the extra effort you put in, Len, is well appreciated. And I also would like to thank all of the participants for taking the time on, a really hot sunny day to stay indoors and listen to us. I thank you all very much. And I know your clubs will benefit from it.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Len.
Thanks.
So,
I would like to thank you, Ruth, and thank you, Len, for putting on an excellent presentation. And hopefully we can move forward with this. Thanks again.
Absolutely.
all
Very
right,
well
my
done.
pleasure,
Thank you.
right? You may be a district governor for 1 year, but you're a past district governor for life, and it's our responsibility to continue to help lead our organization and to develop future leaders. And thank you for the time and effort that you put in today. I know that your clubs are going to be stronger and better because of the effort that you did. So thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day. It's probably time that you can have a cold beer. Dave, you had your hand up, or was that just
No, I'm
waving
just going to head out to
Okay.
the front porch to see if my lunch is there.
I'm guessing Nan had it. I think she made it on you.
Probably, yeah.
You might have to have a liquid lunch.
Oh, okay. I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Is that how I do it, Ruth?
Sure.
Thanks.
Okay, thank
Nice
you,
to see
everyone.
everybody.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye-bye. Apparently I can't leave. Oh, there.
Thank you, Len.
So was that okay? Do you think that was?
Yeah, actually, I gotta stop the recording.